Welcome you back, and we welcome in Dave Flemming in town to do Baylor and Arizona basketball tonight for ESPN. Dave, really appreciate your time on a Tuesday morning. I'm sure there's a lot of things you could be doing right now rather than visiting with us, but thanks very much.
Planning my lunch after listening to all your sponsors. I've got all these options now. I haven't been to town for a couple of years.
Let's go. I'll meet you at the Brazos Landing. It's a great location. What do you travel so much, and where do you like to go? Where's some spots where you really like to go, look forward to, and anything in particular you do when you hit these cities?
Well, I mean, for me, usually they're pretty quick trips, so maybe I have a chance to get one meal. So I think the highlight of most of my I'll do something. If I'm in Lubbock, I might go to the Buddy Holly Museum or something. If there's something that stands out to me that I've never done, I might do something like that. But mostly, I try to ask somebody like you, like, hey, where's a good spot to get a local meal? And that makes me happy. I think, one of the cool things about, people complain about technology and the internet, and it's changed the world too much. One thing that it's done that's really positive is you can find good local places so much easier than you used to.
Right.
And word of mouth is just so, and I love that because I want to support when I go to these towns. I don't want to go to some chain. I like going to local places and maybe supporting somebody who's putting their heart into what they're doing. And you can find great places all over this country. And so that's my favorite thing to do. And you get to maybe talk to some local people and ask them how things are going. And I think that's fun.
That's good. Get a taste of from the locals is always good. We were in Manhattan last week, and we stayed at this place, the Bluemont. Maybe you've stayed there, but it's right down the street from Varsity Donuts. So places like that are fun to know about and fun to hit up when you go to these cities. And I bet you've got those kind of spots all around the country, don't you?
I have a lot of spots, a lot.
Are you
a lot of them are donut spots. I don't know how that happened.
Great. That's great. Are you a runner? Like, do you get up in the morning and run wherever you are?
That's a hard no.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. I walk a lot, and
I'll work out, but you won't see me pounding the pavement along the river here. No, nobody look for me.
Good call. Very good. Well, glad you're here. Looking forward to this matchup tonight. Arizona right now alone in first place in the Big 12 standings. Gosh, they're good. I've said all year that they're just one step shy of an NBA team. How good is Arizona from what you've seen so far this year?
Yeah, they're national championship good, and they present some specific problems that maybe nobody else in the country does. They do have a similarity to Michigan. I think those two teams are comparable in sort of their styles and how they're built. They're one of the, if you're going to pick the five teams that have the best chance to win it all, Arizona is definitely, no doubt, one of those five teams. So Baylor's got its hands full tonight. The one thing they don't do is shoot threes. And it's kind of an old school approach that Tommy Lloyd has. And, I've done so many Gonzaga games over the year. I'm based out west, so I do a lot of Zags games. And Tommy, of course, was there, the Arizona head coach, for a long, long time. And Gonzaga's had a lot of teams over the years. They've had their share of Corey Kisperts and, three-point shooters. They've had a lot of great shooters, but mostly what they've had is teams that can beat you up inside. And that's what Arizona does. They just kill you in the paint, and that'll be a huge challenge tonight.
Yeah, with or without Koa Pete, and we don't know about him. He's missed a couple with, I think, a calf injury. But even without, look what they did. I mean, they went to Houston and beat Houston on Saturday. And I would have, and I did pick Houston to win that game, being on their home floor. That's a pretty impressive start to this Texas swing for the Wildcats.
It's almost like in football, John, where you say defense travels. Like, if you're a tough guy team with size like Arizona is, it travels. Like, the teams that are dependent on the outside shot, you go on the road and it's a different gym or it's a hostile environment and you don't make your shots and you lose. Arizona is just insured against that. That is not what they depend on. They just pound you inside, and I think it particularly makes them a really, really great road team.
Yeah, and there's not many teams in the country that don't rely on the three. I mean, not completely rely on it, but don't need the three to be successful, as well as Arizona.
I agree. It's not just old school; it's almost extinct teams that play this way. Um, and it's kind of fun to have. I mean, one of the things I love about basketball is the way teams can go about it differently and the different styles. And the analytics era, I'm not going on a rant against analytics, but the analytics era has homogenized basketball in a way that I don't like at all. It particularly happens in the NBA. It happens more in the NBA than it does in college. Layups and threes, corner threes, optimize your shots, no mid range, all this stuff. And that's not what Arizona does. And so I appreciate the fact that they play differently than most teams. I think it's fun.
Dave Flemming with us, ESPN. He'll call the game tonight, Baylor and Arizona. And it's been a rough year for Coach Drew and for the Bears. They've been playing better lately. That was a big win for Baylor over Arizona State on Saturday. As you prepare, and I think you did our game at Iowa State, but as you prepare, what do you see from Baylor in this matchup tonight?
Well, I mean, I think I did do the game at Iowa State. One thing Baylor did, they switched up during the game. They used some pressure. Now, I don't know that's going to be totally effective against Arizona, but I think just the fact that they surprised Iowa State with it and stole some possessions, I think that's something that wouldn't be a bad idea tonight. Try to do some stuff like that, steal a few baskets if you can. And I guess I know it's not the strength of this team, but I believe all that stuff we were just talking about Arizona and not shooting threes. So how do you beat them? You probably have to chuck in a bunch of threes. Like you can make up some ground again. They're going to beat Baylor in the paint. Period. They just are. That's just, I mean, they have just incredible talent and size inside. And Baylor's going to have to, you can attack and be aggressive against him, but you're also going to have to make some outside shots.
Very good assessment, and it will be tough in the paint for Baylor this evening. What about the freshmen in the league this year? You've seen probably maybe not everybody, but most everybody in this league. But gosh, look at up and down. We'll see Braden Burries. We'll see maybe Koa Pete tonight. And for Baylor, Tunde Yesufu has been outstanding. And Darren Peterson for Kansas, Kingston Flemings for Houston, all those guys, AJ DeBonsa, maybe the best of the lot. What do you think about these great freshmen that the Big 12 has?
By the way, John, I put my camera off because the internet here at the hotel just doesn't seem to be great. Gotcha. So maybe that'll help a little bit. Hopefully that's all right.
Yep, fine.
I saw. Am I gone?
Nope, we got you. We got you.
Okay. I saw DeBonsa this last weekend, just on Saturday, and that's about as good a game as I've ever seen a freshman play in college basketball. He was unbelievable on Saturday. It's an incredible group. I love the kid Flemings for Houston. I haven't happened to catch one of the games that Darren Peterson has played, which, I'm trying not to make fun of him. I think there is legitimate injury stuff going on, and I sympathize for these kids who are lined up to make a ton of money and have a million people in their ear, and they're banged up, and everybody's, telling them to protect themselves. And I do have sympathy for Darren Peterson. I do. But it's amazing to me that he isn't the one that comes to mind first. He is so talented. And yet this league has so many of them that he's kind of gotten, in a weird way, lost in the shuffle. There are kids like the kid at Iowa State that made a big shot against you guys, Bateman, he's a great freshman, and he's totally lost because he's not a potential top 10 NBA pick. I think Baylor fans, look, they may not enjoy seeing it head to head against them, but Braden Burries for Arizona is a really fun player to watch. Super tough minded. He's been sick, so he hasn't played quite as well the last couple games. He's a guy who dominated California high school basketball, and California obviously has a lot of talent. And this kid was like the best player in California. My son plays high school basketball in California, so I follow it probably more than most. And in NorCal, we had a great team last year with a bunch of D1 players. They just buzzsawed everybody and went to the state championship game. And I'm thinking, wow, they got a great chance to win a state title, which, doesn't, mostly it's the LA teams that do that. Doesn't happen. Braden Burries' team beat them by like 25. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. They must be so good. And now I've watched Burries. I'm like, yeah, he is that good. So I think Burries belongs in that conversation. He may not be as spectacular of an athlete as some of these other guys, which is part of the reason why you're not seeing him as a potential top 5 pick, but this guy can really play.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time this morning. Really do appreciate it. And we'll see you at Foster coming up this evening.
We'll see you, John. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much. Dave Flemming.